Jai Jinendra and good evening to everyone. Today I'm really pleased to bring and speak about a topic on Jain diet, which is our 15th session on obesity, something which I have grappled and dealt with my entire life. We have a very interesting panel over here today to talk about obesity and how to combat it. We have Dr. Raman, who has started the fasting studio about 8 years back. He has helped more than 250 people deal with thyroid, hypertension, and diabetes. And we have his enigmatic co-founder, Dr. Kavitha. And we also have today on our panel, Mr. Pradeep Shah, who's going to be speaking about many things, about how we eat, how we should be eating, what should we be eating. So we have a very interesting panel today. And you would ask, how does all of this relate to Jain diet? Because interestingly speaking, fasting and food is a very integral part of how the Jains, move towards spirituality. So we will start off with Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, you've been running the fasting studio for almost 8 years today.
Right.
And
little more than that.
How? Pardon me?
Little more than that.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey?
See, it always starts with me. What you're seeing these days is influencers or whatever that is, they're telling people to do something that they are not doing themselves. So people don't listen to us. We try and do something on our own. It works out. And that's how the journey starts. And I think just before we started this, Mr. Pradeep was also saying he did it on his own. It just happened. And as the benefits was getting more and more, you try to refine the science a little more. And you refine the science more for yourself. And others are just an excuse to refine it a little more. So I would say a lot of patients that we have seen are only refining the science a little more. And the science seems to be fairly simple. Sorry, go ahead.
No, in fact, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Raman, I'm very curious, as to why are we dealing with a problem of obesity in this, in the last, has it only been in the last 20 years? Is it a problem that only the 21st century has? Or has it been something that has come from the earlier times also?
I would say, Rashmi, obesity, which you typically say, see, you're talking about a BMI of over 30. BMI of over 30 means someone who's, if I were to make it more simpler, about 40 years back, or let's say 30 years back, if you were to go to a city like, let's say, Bangalore that you live in, and ask how many people are more than 90 kg, if you were to ask, you can actually find less than 50 people who will be over 90 kgs. Because crossing 85 kg for a woman was almost impossible. Very rarely you will find a woman who's over 85 kg. And for a man to cross 100 kg was almost impossible. And I can tell you, I'm 47 years of age. When I was studying in my school, I would clearly remember 5th standard. And I remember there was only one boy in the entire school that I know of. It had till 7th standard. And between 5th and 7th standard is where you'll see some level of someone being quite heavy. There was only one boy, and his name was Chandru. I still am in touch with him. And he was overweight. And we used to call him Motu, or whatever you call in Kannada, that you will have a word for it. We'll call him Motu. If I were to look at that guy, he's not obese. He was only overweight. And that boy is now not overweight. He also is about 47. And he's not that overweight at all. Somewhere he's corrected himself. Today, if you were to look at a school bus, you will find minimum 6 out of 10 kids being overweight, where I'm talking about standard less than 9th standard.
So why do you think this is happening, Dr. Raman? Why is it that, we have a generation today which is overweight and dealing with obesity?
Yes, there are actually two clear reasons, Rashmi, that I personally feel, and I have strong reasons to be saying this. And I want you also to be think about it in a very critical manner. I'm 47. Till the age of 30, I remember eating only twice. And it was never unusual at all. It never appeared unusual to eat 2 meals a day till I was 30 years of age. And most people that I know would eat maximum of 3 times a day. I really didn't think I would ever encounter anyone who would eat more than 3 times a day, because generally I would remember my own grandparents saying that if you eat once in a while, just take something and put in your mouth, they'll say, no, you're eating at a wrong time. Eat whatever that is, eat during your lunch or your dinner or maybe your breakfast that you think of. Just eat it along with that. I don't think my mother or anyone that I would know, if I go to their house, all that they would serve is just water. That's it. You'll just get water. Even if you're a very important VIP, they would just keep one fruit and one water. That's about the maximum that I can think of. And 3 meal was actually a norm in the country. Today, Rashmi, if I were to ask you, no one does 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day becomes intermittent fasting. The second thing I would say is the taste of the food has never existed like this. This type of tasty food, Rashmi, what you and I are encountering, whatever be our faith and whatever is it that we are subscribing to, and we say, let's try and lose weight or gain weight or maintain weight, the food in front of us, whatever little bit you're getting exposed to, this kind of a taste has never existed in human history. I would clearly tell you that whatever you have eaten today or I have eaten today or yesterday, whatever I've eaten yesterday, I don't think even King Emperor Akbar would have eaten in his lifetime.
So are you saying that the kind of food that we are eating, the additives that are being used in different foods, processed foods, for example, are kind of getting us addicted to eating more and more processed foods?
See, the foods that you order on Swiggy or whatever those things are that you order at a restaurant, you definitely know that they are using the additives. It's something that I have fought. You know me well, Rashmi. I'm one of those guys who goes and complains about sweet shops because they're using artificial sweetener called aspartame, because that is cheaper than sugar. But it also makes you diabetic. It's cheaper than sugar, but makes you diabetic. If you look at tasting agents and coloring agents, I have fought against this for more than 8-9 years. And usually I don't make much progress. Today, if you were to see, all the food that you get from outside anyway comes with these sweeteners and these tasting agents. But even the food that we eat at home, I think we have improved upon taste quite a bit. We've improved upon taste so much that our expectations of taste is too high, just too high. So one, we eat more number of times. Second is, for us, food doesn't mean nutrition. Food doesn't mean filling our stomach. Food typically means that you're getting an experience. See, just think about it very carefully, that if I was eating, for most of my life, I've eaten to fill my stomach. Like, I want to fill my stomach. When you fill your stomach, you will not eat cake, you will not eat chocolate, because these things don't fill your stomach. See, when I say I want to fill my stomach, people think, oh, he eats a lot. We are not understanding. When you want to fill your stomach, the actual calories that you eat is far less. But if you say, I want an experience, I want to taste food, I want an experience through food, that is going to be almost 3 times the calories. I know it sounds strange, Rashmi, but the foods that fill your stomach don't have much calories.
Right.
If you were to say Rajma rice.
You're going to get a lot of our mothers and grandmothers very upset with your statement, that food is tasting better today. And that's why we've got addicted to it, because I know that a lot of our, parents slaved in the kitchen to give us tasty food to eat. But I think that you have a point, because there's been so much of re-engineering of food and taste that, it has really impacted how we eat. So I think we see global obesity everywhere. And I was reading some statistics recently that Karnataka apparently has the maximum obesity in women. I wonder why that is happening. Is it because, of the IT industry being really significant over here? So we are eating wrong, we are sleeping wrong. Also, our mobiles are called mobiles, but our mobiles have made us immobile. So how do you think, Raman, what are your recommendations, having started the fasting studio, which is a very interesting name? How do you think we combat obesity?
Oh, change your expectation from food. See, if you are going to think that food is you're going to eat food because you want an experience, I don't think it's going to work out. I'm just being very blunt, Rashmi. See, you seek some kind of a pleasure in work, you seek pleasure in clothes, you wear a perfume, you seek pleasure. Most of those you can manage. You can find pleasure in so many things in life. Like, I know you like to read. You're waiting for those authors' books to be released or something more mentally stimulating. All that is fine. But today, the easiest thing that we can think of that people find pleasure in is some kind of an experience of eating. Like, I want to eat in this place, or when I eat, I want to feel this. If you have this expectation, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work out. I'll tell you why I'm saying it, Rashmi. See, I eat one meal a day. I think you have done it yourself for quite a long time. Even on one meal a day, I would say that we eat close to about 1,500 to 1,700 calories. I mean, that's about the maximum that you can eat, and you feel full. An average person, even if he limits his food, even if he limits the quantity of food, for it to be reasonably satisfying, is going to go over 2,700 calories. 2,700 plus calories is very easy for them to eat. How will you get a person to eat half? It's not going to work out. And you can say eat one meal a day. They say, I miss out. I miss out on my idli and sambar in the morning. It's an experience. Now my mother makes beautiful lunch. I'm missing out on that. No, at night I sit with my wife and she makes those things. We have a little bit of chaat. We eat one little bit later. We munch something. We watch TV and eat something. You can't actually make logic out of all these things. I'm not talking about the person giving logic. I'm saying I can't give logic to that person. Now, he's already diabetic. He's already overweight. He'll say, I'll work out more. You work out more, you'll be more hungry. Please know that. You work out more for some other reasons. We have a lot of scientific reasons we can give you why you should work out. Not for reducing weight, because your workout is going to increase your hunger. The whole point is, if you're 35 years of age, even if you are slightly overweight, it's not going to work out. If you say that eating is something that I'm looking to get most of my pleasure from, that expectation is going to be very dangerous. It's not going to work out.
This is very similar to the Jain principle of ekashna, which is eating just one meal a day. How much do you feel what you propagate through the fasting studio has a correlationship with the Jain way of eating and fasting?
Yes. See, I'm not doing one meal a day because it's difficult. Let me be very clear. I'm not doing one meal a day because it's a tapasya. I'm doing one meal a day because the benefits seem very clear, very evident, at least to me. I mean, whoever is doing it. Now, out of trial and error, it has taken me many years to arrive at it. If I had known this, that this was there in a book like this, I would have started it much early. See, that is what they have also done. If you look at all these Mahatmas who have said something, they have not got royalty for it. I do make royalty on what I'm going to suggest. I am in a profitable situation when I'm treating someone. But most of the people who have given advice, whom you are quoting from Jain, where yoga itself seems to have originated. And in yoga, you say one meal a day, a person who eats one meal a day is a yogi, 2 meal a day is a rogi, 3 meal a day is a 2 meals a day is a bogi, 3 meal a day is a rogi. Like, I heard it when I was 8 years old, when I learned yoga. So they have not given, see, they have made it very simple. Rather than saying, look, the kind of explanations I am giving, such a lot of explanation. And just before this talk, we had a talk on ghrelin, the hunger hormone, how it works. You know most of it, Rashmi. You can talk the science of all these things. The simplest way to say to a person is going to be exactly the way that you said it. Ekashna, just eat once. If you're only going to eat once, I think you're almost going to get everything that I'm going to say. The science of it, the philosophy of it, and the religion of it. Because I think they could not have summed it up much better.
So, Raman, there are two philosophies we have here which are diametrically opposite. One which is which you are promoting, called one meal a day.
Yes.
And then you have the Japanese way of eating, which says that, you should eat multiple meals through the day. Small meals, but multiple meals. So how does the one meal a day fare with, eating multiple meals, small meals through the day?
See, you're referring to the blue zones, where one of the sites taken is from Italy and one of the sites taken is from Japan. They don't eat 7 times a day. They eat 3 times a day. And a large portion of their diet is actually fiber because they consume a lot of plants. Though we associate Japan with fish and other things, the actual fish they consume is very small. The majority of their portion is more of salads, is more of those type of leafy things that they consume. One thing that they are successfully doing in Japan, since you referred the name, is they are calorie restricted, Rashmi. That's the truth. They are actually calorie restricted. That means a normal person like me, I'm 1,800 calories metabolic rate. Let's say I work out for 400 calories, 2,200 calories. I should eat less than 2,200 calories, not eat 2,200 calories. I should still be eating 1,500 calories. So there are two approaches you can take. You can give a very long chart saying these are the calories of all the foods. Try eating 1,500 calories. Make it into a diet chart, run a program. If you want it more simple and followable by people, just say eat once. Because eating 1,500 calories in one sitting is not easy at all, Rashmi. See, unless you are having sugar or something like that, it's very difficult to eat 1,400 calories. I mean, I can assure you it's not very easy. I'm a very big eater. And to eat 1,300 calories is a lot of quantity of food that you'll have to eat.
So, Dr. Raman, what exactly happens, when you do one meal a day? So you propose eating one meal a day, 1 hour. So basically it means 23 hours of fasting. So what happens within the body, when you fast for 23 hours?
Yes. See, Rashmi, to be very frank, I have my colleague Kavitha also here. And I also have Shilpa here, who's also our colleague. I can vouch for it. Kavitha can actually say, but have you eaten your food, Kavitha, today?
Not yet, Dr. Raman.
Okay, why haven't you eaten today?
No, the minute I eat, I feel drowsy, and that's it. My day ends.
What time do you usually eat, Kavitha? About 6:30? That's what you're comfortable?
Yes. I have my meal by 6:30 or sometimes 7:30. But because today we had the presentation here and I didn't want to sound groggy or sleepy, so I decided to have my meal after the presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the benefit of our panel, Dr. Raman, if you could, shed light on the things, because to be able to understand and adopt one meal a day, it's very important, to understand what is happening in our body, why is it beneficial for us? So if you could, in a nutshell, tell us what is happening to our body when we are eating one meal a day.
Yes. See, Kavitha is going to present success stories that we've had and how these things happen. That will give you some motivation for some of the members to attempt. See, the question really is, even if it works, people will say, I don't want to do it. See, it looks too difficult. First of all, it's extremely difficult. I don't want to do it. You can prove it to me that there are so many success stories. There are so many people who have lost weight. It's fine, but I can't do it because it looks difficult. Now, I will address this in two parts. One, is it really difficult? As a second part. First is what actually happens when you don't eat. See, the science is fairly, you'll know, but I would rather give more of a personal experience, Rashmi. See, because you can claim autophagy, you can claim hormesis, you can claim overall there is better sink in the body, there is enough stimulation for repair processes, detoxification. You can say so many things, Rashmi. That's the science of it. But let me give an example.
What is this interesting word called autophagy? What does it mean? I mean, it's a very technical word.
I think it's spoken too much already in YouTube. If people were to go through it, they say fasting and they know autophagy is one of the ways to typically trigger. See, what we know, Rashmi, is if you look at cancer as such, what is it you're staring at? You're staring at impaired autophagy. That's the best way to understand it. That means you have cells in the body which are eternal. They're not going to die. They're just going to be there. and they don't perform a function. One thing that they successfully do is keep dividing, which actually means your body is made up of a lot of cells. Each one has a life of its own. We evolved from a single cell to a multicellular organism. But it's a combination, it's a nation of cells that we actually have. They all work in sync. There are master signals that go about it. There is a signal that says die, and that cell dies. That doesn't think twice. There's a signal that says divide. It divides itself, goes, and somewhere this cell dies out, and that cell remains. At any given point in time, the total number of cells in the body seems to be almost the same. There is not too much trigger for growth. This is called a very stable system. And there's a whole amount of processes that go for maintenance and for repair. Autophagy is one of the most powerful mechanisms that we have by evolution. That's why you speak so much about it. There's so many other things that happen. But autophagy is a cluster of many things that actually happen, but it's by evolution. Because when one cell becomes multi-cells and you have many, many, many cells, one of the biggest risks that you have in your body is the risk of cancer. If you look at elephants, elephants hardly have cancer. Blue whale, which is very huge, where the cells are very huge, the body is very huge, you don't have cancer. It is only it's because of the very heightened level of autophagy that they are not having cancer. And they're able to live very long. And they're able to live lives with very little disease till the end, where somewhere something goes wrong and they just go away instantly. In a human being, autophagy is one of the most important things that you need by your side if you have to live very long. If you're going to live beyond 30, if you have to live 60, 70, if you have impaired autophagy, you will have organs not actually repairing themselves well, not functioning well. You will actually have more cancer cells coming out. You will have more senescent cells coming out. You'll have more inflammation from these cells. So autophagy refers to a lot of such things, a cluster of many things. There are three ways you can trigger autophagy very clearly that we know of. One, don't eat for a period of time. And in that period of time, try to be more active. That will give you the best chance of the maximum repair going on in your body. Because after the age of 21, there is no need for you to grow. Let's be clear, you don't need to grow after the age of 21. Someone says at 28, I'm still growing. There is no need for you to grow. If you say I'm putting on muscle, muscle is about maintenance. Muscle is not about growth. It's a very wrong phenomena that people think. You injure the muscle, you create a small micro tear, and the body repairs and puts it a little more, makes it a little more stronger. It's not growth. It's actually repair that you're talking
So
about.
if I understand this, as a lay person, so you're saying that one meal a day gives enough time for your body to, let's say that a body is like a cupboard. So it not only gives enough time to clear out all the mess in the cupboard, but also put everything back in order.
See, we know
Is
that
that the
one
right
meal,
understanding?
1 meal in 2 days seems to be enough. 1 meal in 2 days or 1 meal in 3 days, somewhere over there seems to be just right. Now, the reason we made it 1 meal a day, and many of your elders whom you are quoting, they just said it straight, eat once, and once in a while don't eat, is because eating is a pleasure. That's the truth. And eating helps you fall asleep. Now, I ate yesterday. I have not eaten today because it may look odd to people. They may think I'm suffering or struggling, but fairly all of us do it. We've been doing it for many years, 14, 15 years. So it's not like it's something new. See, today morning, I had a 50-minute workout, 5-0. In the evening today, I worked out early at 5 o'clock. That's 2 workouts in a day. And I'll be eating post this seminar. Am I really hungry? Because this seminar will get over at 9:10. Now, I usually eat at 8:45. I finish my meal by 9:10 in the night. By 9:10, I don't think I have a hunger because right now I don't have hunger. So it's not, I don't know if I'm going to be hungry at 9:10. Actually, I'm not going to be hungry. Now, why am I going to eat? I'm going to eat because it's pleasurable and you can fall asleep. See, if you want to fall asleep easily, try eating. If I have enough work, I think I'll skip the meal today and I'll eat tomorrow. And Rashmi, Kavitha will present you very interesting statistics. Eating one meal in 2 days doesn't mean that you lose weight, you lose muscle. Actually, you are in a much better state for better muscle integrity, I would say.
So, Dr. Raman, before we move on to Kavitha, and in the interest of time, we'd love to speak to you more, and I think half an hour was not doing justice to what you have to tell us. But two quick questions. One is, what shouldn't you eat? So you're saying one meal a day. So what shouldn't you eat?
See, you want it very simple, don't want to study science too much, EAO, all that. I would say don't touch non-veg. I know thankfully it's the Jain Foundation. I'm not saying it because it's the Jain community that I'm addressing. A lot of my patients are non-vegetarians. Non-veg should not be consumed because of the type of growth signals that it gives, the inflammation that it causes. Even with one meal, I don't think you will get away with non-vegetarian. I mean, it's going to be very tricky. Try avoiding non-vegetarian completely. I mean, don't even have it once in a while. It's better not to have. Second thing I would say is, if you can eat the right things, it makes more sense. I more than saying don't eat this, I would say if you can look at eating peanuts, if you're not allergic to peanuts, if you can include peanuts, it makes a lot of sense. Anyone who eats peanut is able to go longer in a fast. Rashmi, you know it, that you've done it yourself. You eat peanuts, you can fast tomorrow. If you don't eat peanuts, if I don't eat peanuts today, I don't think I can fast tomorrow. I'll have to eat very quickly. That's one of the secret weapons. The second weapon I would say would be legumes. See, if you're going to eat a salad as dinner, it's not going to work out in one meal. I'm not saying salad is not good. You can't eat salad and fill your stomach. If you can eat legumes will be like rajma, channa, it'll be something like that. If you don't include that in your meal, I don't think you can fill yourself. So
Got it, Dr. Raman.
these two things to include, and rest is what you like. You like ice cream, I can't help it. But usually people who eat one meal a day don't eat ice cream, because I don't think you feel like eating ice cream. Like I can't eat a cake now. It's not that I don't like sugar, but it's not practical for me to eat a cake. It's not what I want.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raman. And really very insightful sharing, very interesting tips to pick up and reasons behind, the fasting studio and fasting. And I think now we'll move over to Kavitha, who's going to give us, Dr. Kavitha actually, who's going to give us real life examples of people, who have followed this. Because I think that when you see is when you believe, you want to see transformation, you want to see change. And we also have with us Shilpa, who has been part of the fasting studio, who herself has fasted, and who has been a real success story over the last 3 to 4 years. So over to you, Dr. Kavitha.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Rashmi. So what I'm about to present is a very interesting and fabulous story of Meenakshi Karant. She joined our studio back in 2023, June 2023. She came to us with overweight issues. She was hypertensive. She was diabetic. She had sleep issues, anxiety, depression, and she did have seizures, which she used to have like twice a month. So what we had to do was immediately we had to bring the weight down. We had to bring the inflammation also down. So the best thing that we could think of was get her on a long fast. The day she joined was her first day of long fast. We thought initially we'll plan for a 15-day fast, and we never expected it to go beyond it. That was the first thing. So what we do in the fasting studio is every time we get a person on a long fast, we just take one day at a time. We see how the person feels, see if the person is feeling okay. Then we decide whether that person has to break the fast or go to the following day. So the first day, from the first day onwards, she experienced nausea, headache, diarrhea. So after 7 days of her fast, that's when slowly her energy started picking up. And within these 7 days, we got her off the diabetic medication. We got her off the BP medication, both. And it was only after like the 7th day, her sleep and wake up cycles were okay. And her dependency on sleep medications also, we got her off that as well. Her brain fog was off. She was in a much better mental space. That is, she was out of depression and she could sleep well. So that was one of the best things that could happen in terms of the mental health. So over 20 days of her fast, then we noticed she was getting more and more active. That's when we said, okay, now you should start walking. You're feeling a lot better. Can you walk? Initially started with 3,000, 4,000 steps. And then she graduated slowly. We said, see, the expectation is 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. We want you to finish that much at least. So she was like, okay, sure, we'll start walking. And I still remember every day in the morning, first thing that she would send is the number of steps. And that too before 10 a.m. 10 a.m. she used to complete 10,000 steps. And the rest of the day, the number of steps, they were not calculated at all. They were just left. So what we thought was at least she could easily complete 15 to 16,000 steps. And with this, her energy levels were not dropping. And please remember, this 20 days of fast, what I am talking about is without food.
70 days, do you say 70, 70?
No. I'm just talking about 20 days fast, right?
20 days, 20
20,
days.
yes.
Right.
So these 20 days, she's not had anything. This is when her energy actually picked up and she started completing 10K steps per day. So there were days in between where her energy levels dropped and she was literally bedridden for 2 to 3 days. Okay. And these 2 to 3 days, the reason why she was bedridden was her earlier leg issues. She had a fall in her early 20s, and those leg issues actually cropped up, and she had to rest almost like 2 to 3 days without even walking. And we didn't give her painkillers. She stayed on the bed almost all day long, all the 3 days. The repair mechanism kicked in, and she was like fine as ever. She started walking the 4th day. And then again, the journey continues. The long fast journey continues. So when this happened, in between, she did have viral fever. She had a root canal which had to be done, and no antibiotics were taken during this time. No painkillers. I mean, sorry, antibiotics were taken, but no food was given, and no painkillers during fever also was given. She continued the long fast. And finally, the day she reached the long fast was the 100th day, 100. She completed 100 days, which is like phenomenal. And it wasn't an easy journey for her. And we told her, okay, now it's time you stop. But she didn't want to stop. She wanted to continue further. She said, I'll do another 150 days. We were like, no, not at all. Please, you have to stop it. And finally, we forcefully stopped her at the 119th day. That's almost like 4 months of no eating. We stopped her at that. And what I would like to say is, in between when the long fast was going on, some of the parameters, we had got her to do a blood test, and the parameters were exceptional. So her HbA1c, where you calculate the average glucose level, it started from 12 and it came down to 6. See, if a person has to be a non-diabetic, it has to be somewhere at 5.6. So it's very, very close to a non-diabetic. her
That's an
triglycerides.
absolute amazing story, Dr. Kavitha. And I think
Yes.
that in that you have covered so many things. I think questions in all our minds are that, if you reduce your eating, because we are so used to eating
Yes.
3 times a day,
Yes.
tea, coffee, snacking
Yes.
in between. We are
Yes.
also used to that, if I stop eating, somewhere food is
Correct.
associated with energy. And if I stop eating, what is going to happen to my energy levels? So you've covered that. You've
Yes.
covered how, on an empty stomach, she took antibiotics, which again goes against whatever we've learned, right? I mean,
True.
you have to eat before you take antibiotics.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll end up
Yes.
spoiling your gut.
Yes.
So I think a lot of interesting things have come up. And eventually, what was the kind of weight loss she had?
So, the first month she lost 10 kgs. The
Kavitha, could you
second
share
month,
the
6.
screen?
Yes,
Could you
yes,
share the
yes,
screen? We've
yes,
actually
sure.
prepared it.
This is Meenakshi. I hope you all can see the screen. Rashmi, can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see your screen, and that's an amazing transformation. And hats off to her, for being able to do this not only for 100 days, but wanting to continue to 50 days more.
More. Yes, yes, yes. So, as you can see, Rashmi, she started at 108, and the first month she lost 10 kgs. The second month she lost 6. The third month also she lost 6, and the fourth month she lost 5. So after that, I wouldn't say her journey was very easy either when she was on one meal, because she was diagnosed with dengue. But she still continued her one meal. Up to December, she lost like another 5 more kgs. So January, she gained 4 kgs, and between Feb to March, she has lost another 10 kgs. So overall, she's
Absolutely
lost
amazing.
40 kgs. That's in 9 months. And she's been very, very consistent and very disciplined. And just to talk about her parameters, her triglycerides had actually dropped. See, triglyceride is a parameter which you see when a person, just to know how the heart health is. So her triglyceride from 375, it dropped to 144. HDL is the good cholesterol. It went up from 35 to 45. And yeah. Her hemoglobin went up from 13 to 14. Her echo tests were all normal. Lungs were normal. It was only when she had a respiratory tract infection and she had a fever, that's when it was detected. And otherwise, she did exceptionally well, Rashmi. So she's one.
Hats off to
Yes,
Meenakshi.
yes,
Absolutely. And, taking a leaf out of your own journey, Dr. Kavitha, you also have been fasting for, I think, over 2 years.
4.
And 4 years?
Yes,
Wow. And you had just given birth to a baby.
yes,
And contrary to what our Indian traditions say, that, the nursing mother should be completely stuffed with, rich foods.
right.
You chose to fast. What was your personal experience?
See, I wanted to fast anyway, Rashmi. I wanted to do one meal a day. And the minute I got to know that Suraj, who was a common friend of my husband and I, he was doing one meal a day, and he spoke about Dr. Raman. I literally took the opportunity to learn how to fast. And I wanted a good coach to teach me how to fast. Yes, I was nursing a child, and she was like 4 months old. And the fifth month, I got into this. There was a lot of opposition in the family at the beginning, but I said, in case there's deviation in the energy level, or if my energy drops, or if the milk production comes down, I think I will stop. But it went on very well, and I lost like 22 kgs in 10 months. So it's been
And
very
you
good.
have maintained that.
Yes,
Just,
I have
and a
maintained it. Yes, yes.
person who has joined us today, I have known Shilpa for many years. In fact, she was my inspiration for joining the fasting studio. And Shilpa,
Hi, Rashmi.
not only that, you're a couple who've had a lot of success with the fasting studio, and I wish Spurti was here today, to talk about his journey. But why don't you tell us about both of you?
Well, actually, Spurti is here with me, but he's driving. We joined Fasting Studio on Feb 16th, 2021. And again, thanks to Suraj. It was because of Suraj we joined Fasting Studio, because Spurti was almost 200 plus kgs. And Suraj had was seeing him after a very long time. And he said he was shocked to see Spurti, uh, to have become such a big guy, because Purti was more into basketball, cricket. He used to always, be active with sports. And here, Spurti was not even able to walk a little distance. So he said, wait, let me introduce you to one person. And that is when, I think he made Raman come to his office or something like that. And Spurti spoke to him. Rather, Raman spoke to him. And then Spurti came and said, okay, you know what? There's this person. Why don't you talk to him? He says, I can lose weight. Of course, Spurti was never for bariatric, though a lot of our friends suggested that Spurti needs to go under the scalpel, but Spurti said, no, I'm not doing, because for some reasons he had his fear of bariatric surgery. So when he met Raman, he was somehow convinced. He said, let's do this. I said, okay. Spoke to Raman, and I told him all the conditions that I would join in, rather Spurti and me would join in. We are the kind of people who don't count calories, who can't gym, and don't ask us to exercise. Don't say you can only eat this much carbohydrates, this much of protein. Don't say all those things. So he said, no, I'm not going to say any of those things. You just join. So I said, okay, this guy is like, actually agreeing to all my conditions. Didn't make sense. But yeah, we started the journey. And Feb 16th was the day we started our first meal. And my first meal was an infinity. He gave me 2 meals, and my first meal was an infinity, where I had a salad or something like that. And we had a meeting that day. And Spurti called and asked, can I eat a salad? He said, no, you're just eating your meal. So we had that day. I had 2 meals. And when we came back home that night dinner, when Spurti was breaking the fast, he said, okay, I did not eat.
So we have both Shilpa and Spurti here. I think Shilpa has probably having network issues, but that's their transformation journey. Shilpa, are you there with us? So that's the amazing transformation, and Shilpa and Spurti, a couple like we'll find in any of our friend circle, who have had an amazing shift. And the interesting thing is, doing this is not difficult, but maintaining this for years and years to come, I think that is what, really tests your patience and your determination. But really amazing. I wish Shilpa was here with us.
Yeah, I'll
to
check
continue.
Yeah, I'll check you. Please
But
continue.
in
with
the meantime, let's move over to another very interesting person, Pradeep ji, who has what is common in this entire panel is that both Dr. Raman, Dr. Kavitha, as well as Pradeep ji have first experimented on themselves before, talking about fasting and, whatever they have to speak about. So Pradeep ji, over to you.
So thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Yesterday, I was at Hoshiarpur for my seminar on health and disease reversal without medicines, and where I spoke for almost 13 to 14 hours in 2 days. And today I am here. So I am here for nature science. I believe nature science is absolute science and ultimate science, and there is no other science above nature science. And not only me, like me, there are thousands and lakhs of people who have diverse their diseases, so-called incurable, and you name it and they have cured. Even the last stage cancer patients have recovered.
Pradeep ji, what do you mean by natural science? What do you mean by natural science?
Nature science is in almighty nature has made provision for all the creatures. From birth till the last moment, nature has made all the provision for each and every creature. And each and every creature knows what to eat, what not to eat, when to eat, and when not to eat. We, the human beings, the highly intelligent species, don't know what to eat, when not to eat. And that is why we are diseased and we are in a misery. So this is what we are trying to teach. Nature has made provision for each and every creature. So what is designed for you, you eat and you consume and follow the law of nature. You will be automatically cured, because there is a healer within us that awake. When you follow the law of nature, the healer within us awakens, and that is going to cure you. External treatments are not required. That's what the nature science says. We have been disturbed with all this.
What are the key cornerstones of natural science?
See, this is a very big topic, in matter of few minutes, very difficult. But let me make it clear here that Bhagwan Mahavir Swami has also talked of nature science only.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have decoded him wrongly, and we have made Mahavir Swami's science out of syllabus. Since the teachings of Mahavir Swami is out of syllabus, we are diseased. I will give you a short presentation and then we can discuss. See, what I'm saying is out of my study of nature science, and then when I studied Uttara Dhyan Sutra, which is super science of Bhagwan Mahavir Swami, and which is in sync with the nature science. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, I have got some statistical data. You can just see this data. Now, these are abnormal reports of various communities. Bora Samaj, Gujarati Samaj, Lions Club, Kamaj, Indore Medical Council, Vaishnav Samaj, Maheshwari Samaj, Jain Samaj. All these Samaj are there where their diseases are shown, abnormal diseases are there. And Jain Samaj is no exclusion. And we are also at a very disease level. There are many slides. I have only taken second slide here. You can see the type of disease. All diseases are prevalent in all the communities, irrespective of what it is. Even the doctors are suffering from various diseases. And if you can mark the one abnormality, the orange line is of cholesterol. Gujarati Samaj has highest cholesterol, followed by Jain Samaj, and the lowest is in Bora Samaj. Why it is lower in Bora Samaj? Because Bora Samaj realized that they have made some fundamental mistakes in their diet. They changed their diet and their cholesterol fall down. Otherwise, they were the highest in cholesterol, their cholesterol fall down. So diet makes a lot of impact on your health and various diseases. So I cannot go in further details, but one of the fundamental questions, vegetarian, non-vegetarians and Jains, despite having different diet and lifestyle, all carry similar disease. It's a fundamental question is, you have a different diet, you have a different lifestyle, but why your diseases are same? They are common. Nature has not differentiated you, despite your glorifying your diet. Each and every person glorifies his diet, and they may be giving any reasoning, but as far as nature is concerned, nature has punished each and everybody with similar intensity. There is nobody can say this community has this disease and this community doesn't have this disease. All are carrying similar disease. So this is very shocking. Even Jains are also the same thing. And Shravaks are there, Jain followers are there, and Jain Mahatmas are also carrying the same disease with a very high intensity. So this is a very serious concern. We believe that Jain religion is a very detailed, very minute, and most scientific religion with lot of tap and all. So many things are there. But if it is there, how do we experience? And if that is scientific, it should reflect in our day-to-day life. Why so many diseases? Why we are succumbing to deadly medicines, cruel medicines, and why succumb to so many operations and surgery? This is a fundamental question we should seriously think. Merely by glorifying something, it has no relevance. It should have an impact in our day-to-day life. So that is what is required. That's the need of the hour. Now, if you go to Uttara Dhyan Sutra, that is the ultimate and the last teaching of Bhagwan Mahavir Swami, there are 12 taps are given. 4 taps are exterior, 6 are exterior and balance 6 are interior, in which the important parameter which I take is Vigai Tyag, Ras Tyag and fireless diet. In Uttara Dhyan Sutra, there are clear sutras of all these things. Unfortunately, we have excluded them and we are against, means Mahavir Swami teaching has been made out of syllabus, and that is why Jains are seriously diseased like anybody else. So I will try to brief whatever time I have.
Pradeep ji, you are basically saying that out of the 12 taps that Mahavir Swami has proposed for everyone to do, these three are the most important ones?
No, these two, the Vigai Tyag and Ras Tyag. I will come to that. And he, in the later part, he has mentioned to go for fireless diet. It is their clear sutras. I'm not talking anything out of my imagination. Now, these are the 12 taps. Anshan, Unodari, Vritti, Sanchep, Ras Tyag. Now, Anshan means abstaining from food. I always say fasting. I don't use word fasting. I say resting. I use the word resting is more acceptable to everybody. And I say you give rest to your digestive system. If you rest your digestive system, automatically your healing starts. When I say fasting, everybody, mere se nahi hoga, I can't fast. But when I say you have to give your rest to your digestive system, then your healing will start. He is prepared. Then I say, why don't you give your rest to your body? He's okay. Then I say, why don't you give your rest to your mind also? Because mind is also consuming a high percentage of your energy. So then he is slightly more inclined when I use the word resting. So I never use the word fasting. That's the first part. Then Unodari means eat less than you feel like eating. Vritti Sanksabin, don't take too many items. Limit your number of items. And Ras Tyag, which includes Vigai Tyag, that I will cover in detail because nobody is talking on this particular most critical parameter of Jainism that distinguishes Jainism from almost all the other religions. Now, what is the meaning of Vigai and why Vigai Tyag? Vigai means it seems it is physically nourishing, but it creates powerful emotions of lust, that is Kam Vikar. It ruins your physical, mental, spiritual health, and it's a pathway towards Durgati. That is clearly stated. Despite the same, we are heavily consuming all the Vigai items. That I'll come later. So once we talk of moksha and we consume a diet which is taking you towards Durgati, so this much of a contrast is there in our system. I'm sorry to say, but that's a fact. Now, what is Vigai? See these items. Liquor is in Vigai, non-veg is in Vigai, honey is in Vigai, butter is in Vigai. Many of the Jains or even Jain Maharaj don't consume all these things. But what about the other items? Milk, curd, sugar, jaggery, ghee, oil, salt, tea, coffee, that we are consuming in such a huge quantity every day, multiple times. The quantity of this food, what we are consuming, is beyond our imagination. And per capita, our consumption of milk and dairy products is very heavy. And that is why we are being punished by the nature. This is what Mahavir Swami has clearly said. Abstain from all these things, salt and sugar and all these things. So that is Vigai Tyag and Ras Tyag. So this is what we are supposed to do. And now these are some of the
Dr.
items.
Pradeep ji, Pradeep ji, there are a lot of items over here which are, vegan in nature. So are you saying that when you talk about Ras Tyag means that you should become vegan?
I say Vigai Tyagi. For Jains, Vigai is super veganism. Mahavir Swami has talked of super veganism where you have to even delete salt, sugar, jaggery, oil and fried items. That is what Bhagwan Mahavir Swami has said 2500 years back. And multiple sutras he has said, not only one sutra, multiple places he has stated. But then we have decoded him to our comforts and convenience. We have not understood him the way which we wanted to say. And see this item, this is what we are consuming today. All these things what we are consuming is not the item to be consumed. These are all spicy and tasty items. Basically, Mahavir Swami says, don't consume addictive foods. And these are all addictive foods you are consuming. Ras Tyag is what? Don't consume addictive things. And these foods are addictive. We all know these are all addictive things. And since I have time limitations, here I will stress on one more bit. Health and alkaline diet, they have got hand-to-hand relations. Our body is designed for alkaline diet. So our major consumption should be alkaline diet, and whatever I have showed you is all acidic diet. All animal-based items are acidic. All the food grains are acidic in nature, and if you consume this all throughout your life in such a huge quantity, it is impossible for you to remain healthy. Our body is designed for alkaline diet, and we should consume alkaline diet. And nature has made all the provisions for alkaline diet, but we are
So what is
misusing
this
our
alkaline
intelligence.
diet, Pradeep ji?
Huh?
What is this alkaline diet?
Yeah, basically alkaline diets are all fruits and vegetables and leaves. They are alkaline diet.
What about carbohydrates? Do we not require carbohydrates for running our body?
See, that is what I'm saying. Elephant or a horse, tell me, who requires a higher energy? You only answer me.
Horse. A horse.
An elephant, who requires a higher energy?
Probably a horse, because it runs. It's supposed to run. It's meant to
Let us say
run.
horse. Okay. Now, what does horse consume?
Grains, predominantly grains, grasses.
No. Horse will consume grass. Buffalo will also consume grass. A cow will also consume grass. So naturally, they're designed for grass. Now we are putting all these things to them. We are giving them grains. Grains are not easily available for them. Grass is available for them, and they graze and eat grass. Now, from where they are getting all these things? Even the elephant eats grass and it gets all these things, and they are such a high volume. So let us not go in all this discussion. The nature science is super science beyond our understanding. So let us not go in carbohydrate, protein, fats, and calories and all those things. These are all myths which nature science doesn't agree. Each and every creature based on this food will manage to get what it wants from what it has eaten. So let us not discuss that part. It's a myth. I'm clearly saying it's a myth, a science myth, modern science myth. And these are all the items, as I said, this is health, right? So alkaline diet, now you see this is what we consume regularly, daily. Now, if you see this, all these items what we have consumed, and see, I've written vegan: milk, curd, ghee, oil, fried item, jaggery, sugar, paneer, ice cream, cold drinks. They're all veggies. And then you come this side, mahavegais, butter, medicines, and honey. They are mahavegais. Extreme taste, masalas, pickles, sweets. They are also not to be consumed as per Bhagwan Mahavir's teaching. And dvidal, wrong combination of food. Like in Ayurveda, we say for wrong combination. Also is there in Jainism, we say, in Ayurveda, we say virudahar. In Jainism, we say dvidal. Then these are all the wrong combination of items we are eating day to day. This has been prohibited, and nobody is talking of all these things. And we are luxuriously consuming. Now, if you can see out of this, hardly there is anything which is alkaline. Only two pieces of are there, and
Cucumber.
one
2 pieces of cucumber. Probably
yeah,
that's the only
cucumber is there.
alkaline food on
One
this
small
plate.
slice of lemon is there, and maybe 2 pieces of carrot are there. Rest of them is acidic. Now, if you regularly consume this, what is going to happen? You are heading towards an acidic diet. Obviously, our body is not designed for acidic diet. Our saliva is alkaline. Our blood is alkaline. And if you take acidic diet, our body has to sacrifice. And the first part to sacrifice is the bone. And that is why you have so many bones problem and knee joint problem and so many things, and so many things are happening.
Pradeep ji, I
Yeah.
think we need to have an entire session with you only on.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to say. Let me just finish whatever little I have. Now, these are something, and let me take you one thing. When I'm talking of Mahavir Swami, let me talk of Rishabh Dev, Adinath Bhagwan. He was a fruitarian. And even today, let us say somebody is diseased, what do you take to him? Will you take this food, or you will take fruits to him? Obviously, anybody will take fruits for him.
Fruits, yes.
Now, this is a very simple answer which is coming from your side. So fruits and vegetable is our original diet. Whatever nature has created in natural form is your original diet, and this is what we are designed for. We are not designed for fire cooked item, and that is why Mahavir Swami has said to abstain from fire cooked item. But then nobody has talked of it. In the contrary, we say We will eat only what is put on fire. And now this is something very interesting. This is I think, very good thing. That is this what Jains follow. Eating cycle. That is what we are talking right now. Naukarchi, that is 40 minutes after sunrise, and Choviar, that is, sorry, Choviar means you eat before sunset. So in between there is a Porsi, Satporsi, Parimudda, and so many things. Ekashna, Biyashna, that is what we have been discussing. Eat once a day, eat twice a day. So these are some of the ways where you reduce your eating cycle or eating time, and time, how many times you are going to eat. And there is Upwas, where they say Upwas, where only no food, only water. And there is a Choviar Upwas, where no food and no water. We have done extensive experiments on fasting, and we have got miraculous result. And we do fasting on juice, we do fasting on water, we do waterless fasting. It could be for 10 days, 12 days, even 1 month fasting has been experimented, and people have got miraculous results. But fasting is out of understanding. That is more important. Now, in Jainism, Pratikaman is one of the things. So I talk of diet Pratikaman. So fasting is for body detoxification, mini fasting, Naukarchi, Porsi, Ekashna, Biyashna, Choviar. That is also there, mini fasting. Unodari means eat less than your body demands. Keep your stomach empty. That is what it's trying to say. That is where you're going to conserve your energy. Simple diet, take easy diet which is easy to digest. Fruits and vegetables are most easiest thing to digest. Vigai Tyag, as I talk, is for physical, mental, and spiritual health. Ras Tyag, to avoid unnatural food and overeating, because all the spices and the masalas what you add, maybe salt, sugar, and masalas, that is making this food addictive. And ever addictive food is very difficult to control. Dvidal, wrong combination of food has to be avoided. Cooked food, yes, acidic. Cooked food becomes acidic, difficult to digest and excrete, and obviously the nutrition value subsides. This is a proven thing. And diet, you consume the diet of least violence, and which is easy to digest and which is nutritious, full of vitamins and enzymes. That is what nature has created for us, and that is fruits, vegetable, leaves, salad, and water. This is should be our original diet. So all these things what I have said, if you do it, naturally detoxification happens, not only of body, but of the mind also happens. And this is what I'm trying to say. And now coming to modern science. Now I am here, the 3 Nobel Prize winners are there. The first one of the Nobel Prize says, cancer cells cannot survive in oxygenated environment. So obviously be in nature. That is what he is trying to say. And have healthy breathing exercises. Secondly, the second scientist says blockages in the artery can be removed with nitric oxide by eating raw vegetables and fruit. This is the second Nobel Prize winner. The third Nobel Prize winner we have already discussed is autophagy, where the hungry body eats the damaged and even cancer cells. So this is what I'm trying to say. This is what you should do. And this is a proven science Nobel Prize winner, but unfortunately they are not in public domain. So what I am suggesting here is Vigai Tyag, Ras Tyag, and plant-based diet system. And even today, modern science, recently we had one big gathering in Mumbai, where doctors all around India came, and they are talking of plant-based vegan diet. Then after a few weeks back, it was conducted even in your Bangalore. The same thing was conducted, and now that they are trying to spread the same thing, plant-based vegan diet. I am saying plant-based, vegan-free, and rust-free diet. That is what I'm saying, because that is much ahead of veganism. So veganism is good. I am for veganism, but if I have to opt, I will opt for vegan, because that is super veganism. So that's all. That's why I'm given a small presentation. Now, whatever you want, you can ask me the questions.
Thank you so much, Pradeep ji. I think that we'd like to open the floor to our audience and to our members who've joined us. Does our audience have questions for anyone? Any one of our panelists?
Hello, yeah, I'm Mr. Mahendra Mehta. It's about the vegan diet. Nowadays, I've read the article that even though if you go on the vegan diet, you get so many problems like vitamin B12 deficiency and others. So, what's to be the suggestion for that?
Pradeep ji, I think that
Pradeep,
question was
unmute.
for you and you're on mute.
Okay. See, basically B12 deficiency almost everybody has, even the non-vegetarians have, vegetarians have. People who are consuming milk and dairy products also have a B12 deficiency. People who are non-vegetarians also have a B12 deficiency, and vegetarians also have a B12 deficiency. Now, there are various reasons for this. I don't know whether this is a platform where we discuss all these things, but I can very well answer all these questions because these are frequently we face these questions in various seminars. We answer all these things. We are in a concrete jungle, and then where all these things are possible, and everybody it is possible. And it has to do with lot with your gut microbiome also. So these are all detailed discussions. Hopefully, I think it should be clear that it's not vegans. Everybody has a B12 deficiency. Core non-vegetarians also have a B12 deficiency.
No, but specifically, they have put down some of the reports that those who are on the vegan diet for a long period, they are bound to face all these difficulties other than the other people.
See, they don't have any way other means to defend to oppose veganism, so they will come out with such items, and they will try to promote all these things, create a fear in the masses. And this is what it is. The fact is that even everybody has a B12 deficiency. It's not only vegans. Core non-vegetarians and people consume milk and dairy products also have this, because whatever you are taking, you are processing it, you are heating it. So I don't think B12 bacteria will stay for that, or even the processed milk. It is a nature creation. You have to be in sync with the nature. Automatically this will happen. When if you eat highly processed food, whether it's a vegan diet, it's a cooked diet, or a non-vegetarian diet, yes, these problems are likely to be there. Your gut microbiome is going to be disturbed, and you will face all these health issues. Yes, very much there. Yes.
Thank
Mahendra
you.
ji, thank you so much for your question. A very valid question. I think all of us who want to fast or go vegan. And thank you so much, Pradeep ji, for that answer. I think that it is true that all of us suffer not only from vitamin B12 but also vitamin D deficiencies, because we are hardly going out into the sunlight. So we are living very sedentary lives, in our offices or in our homes. So there, just food may not be an answer,
We are staying in
be
a
able
closed
to.
room. We are staying in a closed room, in an air conditioned room, and then all the we have all the curtains and everything covered. So we are isolating ourselves from the nature. And if you are isolating yourself with the nature, obviously you will be punished with certain disease and the miseries. So this is what is happening. And we are
Any
not
other
doing any
questions from
physical
our
work.
audience?
Let me tell you, as far as the weight reduction is concerned, we have reduced 70-80 kgs of many people. Many people have reduced 70. In fact, I reduced by 24 kgs. From 76, I went down. And now, right now, my age is there. My BMI is very low. And as per my my biological age is 32 right now. Otherwise, I'm 66 right now.
I think we all have live examples, with ourselves to be able to demonstrate that there is a solution which is available, an easy solution. Yes, difficult, but zindagi ka suffering is always there in our lives, and we need to do that to live healthy. Health is happiness, right? Thank you so much. I think our panelists have left us a lot of food, but for thought. Thank you so much coming on board and spending 1.5 hours with us in a very interesting session. Thank you so much. With that, Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra, thank you so much for
Jai
sharing.
Jinendra.
Yes, thank you so much.